Welcome back to another episode of Comics and Sweet Tea. Hope you guys had an amazing week. We've got a topic that I've really been kind of thinking about this week and kind of, I wanted to dive into it. Um, One of the main things as an artist that you have to realize is you have your strengths and your weaknesses, which we all know that as artists. We know what we're good at and what we're not. So to me, especially when you're trying to do work to get published, always play to your strengths. And if you don't know what I mean by that, you know what you're really good at. If you're good at certain angles, certain uh, gestures, backgrounds, really try to play on those in your work as you go through your pages or your cover work or whatever you're the best at. That's the things that you need to be highlighting while you're doing the work. And I say that to say this: don't. I'm not trying to discourage you from stretching your muscles, but if you're really trying to sell something, you need to push on what you're really good at and focus on what you're really good at and work on that on in your off time while you're practicing. And if you're not practicing, I don't know what to tell you. You don't want to be an artist. I draw all of the time. Um, if I've heard several artists say this, and it's true. You need to treat it like a real job if you want it to be. You need to put the time in. You need to be logging those hours with a pencil or pen or whatever tool you use to draw. You need to be putting the time in to perfect your craft. And but yeah, when you're really trying to sell your work, you really need to be focusing on your attributes that you're really good at. And I've got a few examples here. And I was thinking about really stylized artists that really, and there was a few that just jumped out at me. I really didn't have to think hard on this. Don't feel too bad for me, but you might recognize this guy, or recognize his work anyway. You should recognize this guy, Marv from Sin City. Honestly, I think this the first few arcs of Sin City were absolutely amazing, and Frank Miller just really focused in on his use of black versus white, his negative versus positive space. And I mean, look at that. That snow shot is just absolutely amazing when he does with the dark and the negative space. I mean, it's perfect. It tells you everything you need to know in one simple shot. You People can say what they want to about the great Frank Miller. He's influenced a whole generation of artists and will continue to do so well after he's gone. But I mean, just bask in that for a minute. That's just absolutely amazing what this guy can do, what he's done for the medium, what he's brought to it. I mean, he's influenced the likes of Jim Lee and thousands of other artists, including myself. Um, and I wanted to show you this example. I mean, look at the shadow where Marv is standing up against the wall. Everything is lit with the light shining on him, the street light or what have you. And I mean, just where his shadow hits is where you actually see the brick. And I just thought that was absolutely incredible. The silhouette of the woman up against the wall there. And then you see her face all lit up with very few shadows. But I mean, this guy, I tell you, anything we get out of him, the rest of his life is just it's gold. I mean, it's simply gold. I see a lot of people bashing his art now, and hey, piss off. The man has earned the right to do whatever the fuck he wants in this business. He's given so much to it. Um, Another example I wanted to show you guys. Frank Show. I mean, look at those bold. And it's not really. It's a cross between realistic because his anatomy of his women. His women are a little over proportion, but the men, not so much. It's a cross between realistic with a little bit of it's got that cartoony look to it, which it should for a comic book. But I mean, look at those bold lines. That is a man that is confident in his work and what he's doing, and I just absolutely amazing stuff. Here's another one. This is just an amazing piece. The Look at the moon. All the details in that absolutely incredible. But what's always caught my eye with uh with uh Frank Joe is the boldness. That I mean, look at those lines. I mean, they're just absolutely amazing. It's like he knows exactly what he wants to do. I mean, I don't always. Most of the time, I do. I'm not near as confident in my lines as I should be. I'm getting there. As I continue to own my craft, I continue to grow and get more confident in my lines. But I mean, look at that page. That is a man that is absolutely confident in his craft. And we don't get the next artist I'm going to show you guys. We don't get a whole lot of new stuff from him. Well, I say that we get plenty of them, but we don't get a whole lot of interior work. Um, so I had to go after some older pieces. This is Jeffrey Scott Campbell, Gen 13. I want to say this might be from issue 20, I believe, just looking at it. Uh, if I'm wrong, you guys can point that out to me. But I think it is from issue number 20. But the one thing that I mean, you have to set yourself apart. People have to recognize your work. And one thing that Jay Scott just doubled down on was the Disney esque look to his work. The big eyes, the over stylization, I mean, people were like, I've never seen anything like this before other than Disney. And I was the same way. I was just flabbergasted. I was like, look at this guy. He could work for Disney. And he just doubled down on it and has managed to make himself a brilliant career and continues to do so. His variants go for stupid money. And he hadn't let up. He's doing the same thing that he's been doing since day one. That Disney S, the big eyes, he just doubled down on it. And he's playing to his strengths. And that's what we all have to do. I mean, take a look at this other one. This will be the last example I'll have for you guys. But yeah, you can see Lynch there. Even Lynch is rough and tough as he's supposed to be. He still has that Disney esque look to him. You know, it looks just like it come out of a Disney animated movie to me. I mean, look at that. Just absolutely incredible. I tell you. I I sometimes a friend of mine, uh, Keith Mirage, has gotten me into collecting artist editions on some of my favorite artists, and I go and I just study their work. And the one thing that I seem to find, except for McFarlane, um, the more experienced and the more years an artist has into his work, I mean, his work is better, but there's less lines. Every line absolutely has a purpose. It to push the image out to you. There's no wasted work whatsoever. Everything it's got a meaning. And I can't wait till I get to that point. I have noticed where I use less lines. The ones that I do use that and I used to be the world's worst because I thought, hey, the more lines you draw, the cooler this shit looks. You need detail, 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 but you can get too detailed, and something just gets lost in translation when you do that. Um, I see some of the more. Take Jorge Jimenez. Look from where he started to where he is now. Yes, he's drawing incredible work, but it's more simple. There's less lines. If you really sit down and study it out, there's less work there. That because he's come to that realization that you don't need all that. Use what you need to push the art forward. That's all you need. Just quit lollygagging around and wasting your time on all the bullshit and and do what it takes to finish the work. Because he's on time crunches. He's got deadlines. That's the one thing about this medium, you know. If you're doing them, especially if you're doing a monthly title, you're always on a time crunch, trying to get this stuff out. Um, but yeah, I've been thinking about this, and I was like, well, you know what, this would be a great topic to cover this week. You know, play to your strengths. Um, and I continue to try and grow in that and take my own advice as well because I mean I'm good at certain things. At certain things I struggle with, and when it comes to a a big scene or something like that, yeah, I'm gonna shy away from doing those things that I'm not really good at, or a certain angle that I don't do well. I'm gonna do the best work I possibly can, and we all have to do that as artists. That's what's going to keep pushing everything forward. But anyway, guys, I know kind of short this week, but I don't want to keep kicking a dead horse. I feel like we've come um, to organic ending for this thing. I hope you've learned something. Let me know what you think in the comments. You guys are awesome and continue to be so. I hope you have a blessed week. Um, hey, leave a like, drop a comment. Those help with the algorithm. Tell a friend about the show. Until next week, that's the show, you guys. Hey guys, you want to support the channel? Be sure and drop a like, put those comments down in there. I'd love to talk with you guys. Like to make this a community. Other ways to support the channel, hey, go to my website at jerrycooleyart.com. That's www.jerrycooleyart.com. You can pick up my comics, t-shirts, prints, all kinds of stuff. Be sure and go on there and check that stuff out if you're interested in any of my work. You can also follow me on Instagram at Jerry Cooley 77 and also at Blue Sky to see what I'm up to as far as comics. Hey, love to see you there. Jump on, give me a follow on all those socials. Thanks for watching the show. Till next time, you guys, have a blessed one.